Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Crizzle Cast. I'm your host of the most, Crizzle, and today we're going to be talking about games that we thought that were good, but didn't really turn out quite that way. So sit back, take a listen, and enjoy. All right, and welcome everyone to the third episode of the Crizzle Cast. And I'm doing things a little differently today. Just a little.
Trial and error,
games.
baby. Oh, by the
Time
way,
to
Craze,
learn.
we're not lighting up.
Yeah, you are.
Well, because it's delayed.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Technical difficulties. Abort.
Baja's also a little delayed.
hey. Be nice.
Yo. Yeah, so what are we doing differently tonight?
Well,
MC
first
of
off,
the
instead
night.
of just jumping into a stuff here, Joe's going to tell us a quick story.
Yeah, so
And
Everyone,
as you
welcome
can
back
see
to the Crizzle
visually,
Cast.
I'm actually going to be playing a game, but you're not going to hear the audio because I don't want the audio to get, in
Yeah.
the
You don't want
podcast.
power
itself.
washing to be like our ambient noise in the
It
background.
could be. Just put it like at 1 or 2.
Here, I'll just fill in.
This guy. So funny story. And I posted this in our Snapchat group, but
Should we introduce
Friday.
ourselves?
So what?
Should we introduce ourselves before?
Oh yeah,
we
no
get
one
to-
gets to know who's on the podcast.
True.
Yeah,
Fuck
because
'em.
remember, no one.
Oh yeah, the audio
that's
listeners.
listening-
Okay, so
Yeah.
That's
I'll
a good
go in
point.
order. I have with us today, my boy Joe Java,
Hey yo,
the one and
what's up?
only JC, aka some say JC.
Boy.
Zesty
Not
is
not
here with
Jesus
us.
Christ, by the way.
Not Jesus Christ. Zesty's here with us. So is Baja and Nibs.
Hello.
The lost boy Nibs. We found him. He's here now.
He's no longer lost.
I'm changing my name to Found Boy right now. Hold on.
Do it.
All the weeks of preparation for streams. Fuck, I gotta change my name now and all the logos.
As soon as you hit affiliate, changes your name to Found Boy Nibs.
Oh, the flex. I love it.
That'd be nice, actually. Hold up.
That'd be
Hold
kind of
up.
funny. No, just build up your reputation and brand and then immediately throw it all the
Mhm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So hello everyone. I do have a quick story for the podcast. It's one that I'll admit I'm a little prideful about. I felt really good about this. So you can totally just, whatever, but like I'm proud of this one. So in our group chat, I posted on Friday that I had finally gotten my jog down to, I got past 3 miles in under 30 minutes. For a big dude, I'm gonna give you all like a quick like understanding. I'm not a skinny dude. I'm like 315 pounds of fat and muscle. So like that shit's hard.
I feel that.
He's also made out of pure love. Get out
Not
of
as
him, ladies.
hard as everyone's gonna be
God
now
damn
that
it.
you're telling us the story.
God
Damn it! This is
Here we
not
go.
that much. I'm
pride,
so
guys.
sorry to Joe's aunt that listens to the podcast.
Yo, wait,
No,
hold
it's
up.
Fine. It's
Your
fine.
aunt listens to this podcast?
She does. I told her about it. She was very like, oh,
Huh.
she's super supportive of like anything I do. And I was just like, yeah, my friend started this podcast. I was on it. And she's like, oh, cool. And she's like, oh, can I listen to it on YouTube? Because I have access to that all the time. I'm like, yeah, I think it's on YouTube.
Well,
but
maybe
she's-
it's a good thing that we haven't let out the fact that you're a gakekeeper of Bowser's Kings.
Oh my
but
Stop
god!
it.
Go on.
do not
Go
start.
on.
That stays in my Twitch. You know this. We discussed this before.
Actually, no, we didn't. I didn't sign NDA.
You fucking. Regardless,
Mm-hmm.
I Aunt got Java, that. don't worry.
Aunt Java.
So I got
Oh my
that,
god, I love it.
I got that jog down, and I was super proud of it. But I never told anyone why I started doing that in the first place.
So you can outrun your demons?
No, but it is something along those lines, though. Not explicitly that, obviously. I'm gonna listen. I promise I'm fine. Don't look too into this. But what happened was, so I was already starting to run because I was just trying to get distance, and I would just be like, okay, I'm gonna just run for 30 minutes, like each day that I'm at the gym, get a lot of cardio in, start feeling like better about things. And it worked. When I went to the clinic last time, my heart rate was under 60 BPM at a resting heart rate, which is pretty good. I think.
Yes, it's
I'm
very
not a
good.
doctor.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know these things, but I assume it is. But the reason that like I was super proud about getting it under 3 miles in 30 minutes actually has something to do with another podcast. So y'all
Another
know
podcast.
yeah. So y'all know Markiplier, right?
Are we
Yes.
talking the one with him and Tyler? The
Yeah, so there's
The
a
one and
podcast-
only Markiplier,
Yeah, the
OnlyFans Markiplier.
the one and only Mark Eplier. He's on a podcast with his friend Tyler, and it's called Go My Favorite Sports Team. I like it. It's a good podcast. But they did an episode on rivalries, and like they were talking about how rivalries kind of boost, they boost each other up, and they kind of make them try harder. And sometimes rivalries get out of hand, and they get like bad. But there's good and bad things in all walks of life. But during that podcast, Markiplier was like, yeah, I think my best time, I did a 5K in 35 minutes. And I was like, okay. And I heard that day, and something in my brain just clicked. And I was like, I almost did 3 miles. And like a 5K is like 3 point some miles. I want to see how fast I can go. And like on that day, I did like 2.8 miles in 30 minutes because I was still going to go for 30 minutes. But, and it's so funny that like now my goal is I want to be faster than Markiplier, which is such a, I don't know why that became my goal, but like, I guess just like I want the bragging rights to just say I'm faster than Markiplier.
I'm faster than Markiplier was on that one random day he talked about.
Well, here's the thing. He said he doesn't do that much like running anymore. So I think like that was his peak. Even if it's not his peak, at one point I was fast. I could say I would be faster than Markiplier. So I've been running, and after getting that 3 miles down yesterday, I like looked on my phone like miles to kilometers because a 5K is kilometers. And apparently 5 kilometers is like 3.1 miles. So I'm a lot closer to my goal than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And obviously he wasn't like sprint running. He wasn't just like going as fast as possible. But like, I'm like, oh man, I can at least like, I can get to that point. You know what I mean? Just like, that's the goal. I want to be faster than Markiplier. It's a dumb goal, I think, but
no,
I feel like it's the carrot that I need to dangle in front of me for right now. And eventually I'll find another thing. But for right now, that's just like it's what's making me push myself harder at the gym. And like that, I think what I wanted to get at, it was just, if you're trying to work out, or if you are working out, set goals for yourself that you are truly
challenge Markiplier. If you're setting a goal, challenge Markiplier.
Beat the shit
Challenge
out of
Markiplier. Take over YouTube.
Yeah, just take over YouTube. Why not?
Publicly call him out.
Hey, yo, at
you beat him in a
Markiplier.
5K.
Markiplier,
And then
I'm calling you out.
And then
on
beat him
this
in ratings.
podcast.
Is this gonna be
I'm
like that
gonna-
Logan Paul versus Jake? What's his face? Boxing match. Is it gonna be
KSI.
Oh,
Joe-
yeah.
Logan
Was
Paul versus his brother Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, yeah.
Was it Jake Paul or was it KSI?
It's
Or was it
KSI.
No,
both?
he fought
Ah, okay.
KSI, and I believe
Okay,
he's fought
okay.
him twice now.
Yes.
It's next gonna be Joe Java against.
Now
Markiplier.
Logan Paul is wrestling on
You better start
WWE.
training real hard, baby.
Bro, I
For the
actually
next creator
I do
clash.
boxing practice a lot. If anything, I know that I'm an inboxer.
Creator Clash 3, Joe Java versus Markiplier.
There's no way in hell that would happen. If I get contacted out of the blue, like, do you want to fight Markiplier? I'd probably be like, hell yeah, I want to fight Markiplier. That's the shit I can tell my grandkids. I fought internet celebrity Markiplier back in 2025.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
Oh,
sure,
I miss
Grandpa.
walking.
I was in Tampa Bay at the Amalie Arena when I fought Markiplier.
I
went
punched the
3
beauty right off
rounds.
his face, and then I punched the handsome right back on.
I was
I
scared
don't
to
know why
punch him
that-
because he's so handsome.
It's so I don't want to punch that beautiful face. It's so difficult.
You don't
They
want to
put
fight
me-
all the fans that come after you.
Oh God, I feel like if I did fight Markiplier, people would hate me forever. He's such a genuinely good person.
Cancel Joe Java. Drink tea
is.
instead.
I don't know why this reminds me, but did you guys hear
Mhm.
PewDiePie announced 12 hours ago that him and Matsuya are expecting?
What?
Good
Yeah.
for him.
Dude,
He's having
YouTubers
a
can't have
baby.
sex. What the fuck?
YouTubers can't
Big
reproduce.
personality. Yuck.
Bro, what the hell? Are you telling me YouTubers can have sex? What?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Impossible.
even
All right,
you
guys. I
can have
know
sex.
what I'm getting into. I'm
what?
YouTubing now.
Hold on. You say I can have sex. I mean, we have to find someone first.
Why
Remember,
is this-
remember, guys, consent
Bro,
is
I am-
sexy.
I am-
Consent is
bro,
sexy.
This literally reminds me of
I'm
what you
just saying I'm
literally
fugly
just
as
said
hell.
earlier. She just fell on my dick.
Yeah,
Then Chris
yeah.
proceeded to fucking die.
Yeah, I said earlier, this is before the podcast, I literally said, you know, if a girl was giving me a blowjob, I would never think she was actually interested in me. I'd just think, damn, it's unfortunate she fell like this. Right on my wiener. I feel so bad now. I should probably maybe you know what? I'm not maybe I should just I feel bad.
Do I need to get her a
I should probably
towel?
bro, I should
She
probably
gotta
get
hold
her
her
a
head
Pepsi.
down.
Maybe I should get her a Dr. Pepper. I feel bad. She needs to get that taste out
Does
of her
her
mouth.
hair need pulled or like?
Oh
Or
man.
held back, you know.
Bro, do I have a scrunchie somewhere in my room? I think her hair's in her way. I don't think she realizes she's still on my penis. This is bad. I feel awful.
This is just
God, my aunt listens to this.
it's crazy.
And Java, if you know someone nice for Joe here.
No, I am not. We are not doing this. This is not the podcast.
If
And
we
Java,
could
please
if we
set
could
Joe
find
up with someone.
if we could find a Mary Jane Watson to Joe's Peter Parker.
Oh my god.
To his penis, Parker. Yeah.
I have reservations on Mary Jane.
swear to
I only say Mary Jane because that's the popular one. Team Gwen Stacy all the way.
Fuck that, it's Mary
Oh.
Jane.
Oh my
Mary Jane is
God.
toxic and a terrible person, and I will
Listen,
fight.
we love toxic over here.
You know what? I don't
love
think I need more of
toxic.
that in my life. I think I'm done with that.
The toxicity.
I'm obviously joking,
of our
but
city.
still.
Yeah, I know.
Of our women.
With my story over, how's everyone else doing tonight?
I am doing all right. I mean, I'm doing okay. How's everyone doing?
I just downed a pizza pocket,
Yo, hell yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
doing real fucking good.
bro.
Talk about running a 5K. I downed a pizza pocket. I feel fucking
Take
great.
that, Markiplier. Take that, Mark.
2 bites. Wait, maybe 3 bites. I don't know. I took a big bite. I was hungry.
Markiplier could never.
You could never down a You could never outdo me with eating pizza pockets.
Bro, the throat goat over here. Pizza pockets in 2 gulps. Let's go.
Whoa.
You know, I have been called that before. No, I'm kidding.
Mhm.
Maybe,
Wow, we've gone off the
Exit.
rails.
we have to cut
yeah.
this from the podcast.
Here, let me just
Absolutely not. Nope.
Here we
This
go.
clip
Back
stays on during podcast.
No, no.
The jorts stay
Hold on,
on when
just
I'm
nickname-
podcasting.
Nickname me the throat goat in Discord.
So
I
really
think there will be
quick,
some questions.
yeah. This is the part. If we had commercials, we'd cut to a commercial.
All right, I
This
think it's
podcast sponsored by Dummy.
Yeah, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey guys, have you ever
use that
been,
coupon
have
code
you-
Crizzle for 10% off, buddy. Ayo.
have you ever had your friends tell you that you need to get a girlfriend? BetterHelp can help you feel better about that. What? No
I
one?
think
Just me?
I think it's time for me to corral this in and finally get on to
True.
the topic of tonight's
Yeah.
ordeal. So I'm going to pose a question here,
Mm-hmm.
and either I can start with my answer because I actually have
You could
quite a
challenge a
I have a
YouTuber. Who would it be? No, I'm kidding.
I have a somewhat controversial answer. Question is, I'm going to start with this one. Have you ever played a video game that
Yes.
you
Yes,
thought
I
was?
have.
Can you let me finish? That you thought was going to be great, and it was just absolute dog shit, like just the worst.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you can go first, and then it'll give us time to think of answers.
Okay, fine. I've got two. I have one that
Okay.
is an obvious answer and one that is quite a controversial one.
All right.
I'm gonna go obvious first. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are the most disappointing fucking games on the planet. And I'm going
Ooh.
hard take on that.
Here we go. Strap in. This is the point where, like, if we had a Reddit, we get canceled on Reddit.
No.
No.
Johan
I'm
says
correct.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's a good entry as well.
I think we would have been canceled
I
a good
have.
minute ago.
But I actually
True.
enjoyed those games. So, No,
I enjoyed
Sword and
them.
Shield.
I
No,
think all
I'm thinking Scarlet and the other one. I'm sorry. No, Sword and Shield were kind of disappointing. They didn't have any good replay value. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite, I remember the hype train, especially for 3, was so high because a lot of people who are fans of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, we had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in 2001 and then nothing for like 10, 15 years almost. And then they came out with that trailer at E3 for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and everyone lost their fucking minds. I remember I went opening night to GameStop, went in, I was like, this is going to be awesome. I played it for about a half an hour and I was like, this is bad. Like, it's clunky. It doesn't because a lot of what made Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 1 great was the absolute flow in combat. It was quick. It was seamless. Anybody could pick it up. Anybody could play it. And what they tried to do with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and they ended up carrying it over into Infinite, was they dumbed down the controllers. They dumbed down the controls to where you're just hitting a button for instead of okay, let me go light punch, heavy kick, medium punch, right? Like where I could build combos that way. There's a light button, a medium button, heavy button for everything.
Sure.
So it's all combined into these 3 inputs, which limits what you can do.
Okay.
And it doesn't bode well for that kind of for people who played that series. It's just a massive letdown. And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I throw it in there because they touted as, we're going to have this awesome story. And first off, the story was absolute butt cheeks.
Yo, fucking dookie butter story.
They did the one thing in storytelling that I absolutely fucking hate.
All right.
And it's whenever you have a group of characters on screen, instead of making sure that we already know who they are, they treat us like we're idiots. And it's like, Captain America, thank you for coming in to save my ass. You're welcome, Mega Man X. Strider Ryu, what's the situation over there? It's like, stop starting each sentence with the name of a character that they're addressing. It's horrible. It's terrible writing.
Wait, why don't you like that? Because I mean, I can understand completely. It is bad writing, bad bringing it in. But who's to say there's people who have never played a Marvel game, never interacted anything Marvel movies,
I'm not
games,
saying
comics.
I'm saying
You
when
know, it
it's
helps them.
every single character and it's a pattern that you notice, it gets real old real quick.
Okay,
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
it's basically how they're introducing the characters rather than like they're trying to make sure that you know like this is this character, but like they have to make it somewhat like dialogue.
Yes.
So
Right.
instead of having like a thing that shows who this character is, they're forcing the characters to do that.
Exactly.
Like, thank you, fucking Doctor Strange. No problem, Mega Man X.
Like,
It's so good to see you. Like, how's the future holding up or whatever? And like have
if
like a
Marvel
little
vs.
banter about
Capcom
each
is
other.
free, if Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is free on either PlayStation or Xbox, I will play it on stream just so you can see how bad it is.
Okay.
I was
Please.
gonna say,
Please.
have you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in a while since like the release day? Like, do you think it's gotten better with updates and patches?
So Marvel vs.
Or is it
Capcom 3
the
Ultimate
core
was
game?
better. So Marvel vs. Capcom 3
Okay,
Ultimate
yeah.
was better. They added a lot more characters. That was another thing that pissed people off, was that there was limited amount of characters, and then the characters that they were adding were hidden behind DLC.
Yeah.
And that was like, when we came from like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had almost 100 characters you could pick from.
Yeah, I remember that. That character selection screen was gigantic.
So like when you get to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and there's like 18 people and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I will say Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate is the game where you can play as Phoenix Wright, which is hilarious.
Yes. And I'm not saying that they didn't do things right in those games. There was just a lot wrong.
No. I understand that. It's weird for me because like when you're talking about how like the button strategies are like very like not as ideal as other games, it's a little weird for me because I didn't really play a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. I played another game with like team fighting kind of thing. I played like a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters, and like that game has like the same style of like you have 3 people on a team, you can call the other 2 for assist, you can switch out characters. If one person goes down, you switch to the next one and then you keep fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because like they sold fighters on its simplicity. Like they were like, hey, if you're casual to fighting games, all you have to do is press square and you'll do this auto combo and you can just keep doing that. Or all you have to do is press triangle and you can do this auto combo with just that button. And that was a selling point because they were like, not every Dragon Ball Z fan is a fighting game fan. But if we make it so this game looks very simple and very easy to play, that like a lot of like people that aren't going to be professional fighting game players can play it, it'll sell better. And that was one of its main selling points.
I'm going to agree with you on a certain point. Like that's great when you're not doing it with an already established franchise.
No, and that's I completely understand where you're coming from on that because this game was new. It's the first real fighting game, Dragon Ball Z game. Like a lot of people will tell you like Budokai 3 was a real fighting game and like Budokai Tenkaichi series was real
I love
fighting
those games. I love both those series.
They are great games. I think the closest one was Budokai. Like Budokai 3 was like a really close to a really good fighting game. But like the Tenkaichi games, those are just arena fighters. I picked 2 action figures and I have them attack each other for a bit. I didn't see a lot of like fighting game in that.
Because
I felt more
it's
like
a 2D.
It was a game where they fought.
Because a lot of what people assume or really relate to as a fighting game is a 2D side style fighting game. Like when you think fighting game, you're thinking Street Fighter, you're thinking Mortal Kombat, you're thinking, you know what I mean? Like you're thinking of those games. So all those other Dragon Ball games, and especially like Budokai and Tenkaichi 3, great games. I mean,
definitely.
They're great Dragon Ball games in their own right.
Yeah,
but they're not a true fighting game because it's, they're more or less like fucking Virtua Fighter.
I will say, like, and here's the thing, I am not bashing on these games. I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't think of them as fighting games. I think of them as games where people fight. And that's a weird distinction. But like if you've played them, you kind of know.
Yeah.
Where like in Budokai Tenkaichi, you can fly around the arena and stage and like you can blast each other and stuff. And like it's
a
not
battle
so much
strategy
about-
game.
Yeah, exactly. You're just kind of doing whatever. And Budokai 3 is a little bit the same, but like you don't get to fly around of your own volition. You basically have to like if your opponent's flying in the air, you kind of like chase after them to the air.
Right.
Where if like you're both on the ground, you stay on the ground. It's you don't have as much control to fly around, but you do maintain that like side 2D kind of thing, but you can like kind of like pivot forward and backward. Like there's 3D to it. Like if you're like you can move towards the foreground or towards the background and you kind of like change what layer it's hard to describe. I'm doing a terrible job of it.
No, it's fine.
But but Dragon Ball Fighters is like the first real fighting game of that. But I understand like it's when you have an established franchise like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 going to 3 and it's just different and it's not as fluid and it's not as like honestly it's not as fun as 2 was. It sucks. I feel you. I get it, man.
So, and people always forget, like, they always think, oh, it's Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, then 3. There's a whole other series of games that came before that. You had X-Men versus Street Fighter, you had Marvel Superheroes, that all ran on that same engine, which was the Street Fighter Alpha engine. But I could get into that another day. I should probably get into the second game that, and I really thought about this, Joe, when you posed this topic to me. Because, like I said, Marvel vs. Capcom was the obvious one that stood out, but I had to think of, because I know I had more than one. And this isn't one that I'm going to say is bad. This is one that really disappointed me. And I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this one.
Oh, here it comes. Get
I
your
wonder
nets
if
ready.
it's gonna be mine.
Probably not. This is a franchise that I absolutely love. I have talked about this franchise before. I have only ever played one game from this franchise.
Okay, it's not.
It did not do well on stream. You guys did not respond well to it, which is okay. But
some stream is fickle.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was a very disappointing game to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with...
Wait, did you stream Kingdom Hearts 3?
I streamed Kingdom Hearts 1
Oh
for
my God,
an
when?
episode 2 years ago. I did like 2 or 3 episodes.
I would have been here.
I did 2 or 3 episodes of Kingdom Hearts 1 and nobody showed up for it. I had like 0 viewers. I'm like, okay, clearly this is not the channel this is not going to work for this channel.
I would have been here.
But Kingdom Hearts 3, and just to kind of give context here, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005. And they released all these fucking sideways like prequels and side story shit
between 2 and 3.
Yeah,
it's amazing how many games are in between a sequel.
Right?
Actually, can I interject? It actually was released on March 28, 2002, not 2005.
Kingdom Hearts
Even
2
longer. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2 was released in 2005.
Oh, I'm dumb. I take it back.
That was Kingdom Hearts 1. I appreciate you for trying.
First one.
I appreciate you for
I thought he did too. I thought he did too.
Does that mean like between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 there was 3 years? And then between 2 and 3 it was like 20?
Yes. That's what I'm getting at. But that game was released, what was it? It was either early 2019 or late 2018. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The first trailer for that fucking game came out at E3 in 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they really did do that.
And the fucking look, and I'm part of the fan base, okay? I get it. We were rabid as fuck. We wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Right? And what we ended up getting was this really rushed story.
Mm-hmm.
And when I mean rushed, the overarching story was rushed at the end of the game. And the shit that you did in the Disney worlds
did not matter.
Like, there was no consequence to Sora going to see fucking Rapunzel entangled.
Yeah, it's so weird that like
what the consequence? What should that have been?
Well, the way that the story was built up was that Sora Sora had lost his powers at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, understandable, right? And that he was supposed to take his time, go through the worlds, and build his power back up. But the story really didn't play out that way. He just got it all his shit together by the end of the game when they're in the final act. It all comes back to him. So it's like, what the fuck was the point?
Yeah. It also, like, man, there are a lot of gripes I have with Kingdom Hearts story. There's a lot of tropes they use for no reason.
Oh, yeah. Look,
there's a lot of things that I can get into. I feel like Barry Kramer's video on like a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts really does. Yeah, it really does a good job of like explaining the lore of the game if you want to learn about Kingdom Hearts in like 30 minutes to an hour. And like it does like tackle a lot of stuff they do in those games. But like Kingdom Hearts 3, I kind of like I agree with you. We had so many games in between 2 and 3, and like I was playing a lot of those games because I had a DS, I had a PS Vita, I had like a lot of things. So like I played like 358 over 2 days and like Birth by Sleep and like a lot of the games. And like there's a lot of good things that happen from them. One of the things that will always piss me off is the fact that in Dream Drop Distance, Sora's supposed to learn the power of waking, and he doesn't go to Sleeping Beauty's world. How the fuck do you learn about the power of waking and not go there?
Wait.
Really? So where did he go?
No, he does.
Literally everywhere else. He fucking went to like Notre Dame, which was sick. Like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh,
he
you're
went to
right.
That world.
Sleeping Beauty was in
fucking not Dream Dot Distance. He was in like fucking Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And also, I think it was in Kingdom Hearts 1, but he only fought
Maleficent.
or
The reason why they had to do that was Birth by Sleep takes place at the very beginning of the story, and Maleficent needed to be shown as a force from the beginning of the story.
Right, but I still just like, it sucks. I know there's like a fucking lore plot reason that he doesn't go there, but it's so frustrating when you have like the obvious threads and like they're just like, nah, we're not gonna use this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I get it, but still frustrating. But yeah, like Kingdom Hearts 3, I didn't super enjoy the combat. Like it definitely felt like I press square a bunch, and then every now and then I press triangle, and now I'm pressing square a bunch in a different way. Ooh. And
the last thing I'm going to say about Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think this is the most damning out of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
We were all built up thinking that this was going to be like the conclusion of the arc that we've been building on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And not only was it not that, you leave us on another cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. You make us get a DLC for something that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck happened in that part of the story with the DLC. And then the next game you release, which is canon to your story, was a rhythm-based rock band like game.
Are you serious?
Yup, that's what they did. Bro, Kingdom Hearts will put any game and put the name Kingdom Hearts on it, and you have to play it to understand the lore.
Yep.
That is that series.
And that was a massive part of the reason why I was like, okay, I think until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, I'm done.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
silly.
Just so dumb. I mean, like,
yeah.
I get it because Kingdom Hearts is Disney and Final Fantasy, and they
have plenty of songs, is what I'm saying.
They do. But like, it's two really big like franchises, so of course they're gonna like spread it out as much as possible for like cash grab.
Oh yeah, of course. So I don't know
I don't
what the
mind
elevator
that
pitch
as
was,
much when
but
it's, but like, bro,
yeah,
it's been over 20 years.
Right.
it's been
I get that.
3,000 years.
Like, what exactly are we doing? I know that I
Yeah.
have just taken up a shit ton of time
No,
on
you're good.
mine, and I would love to hear everybody's. I'm actually going to
I'll
go to the
make-
chat real quick
I'll
because
make
I
mine
have seen
brief.
some suggestions in there.
And that's where I'm going off of, because I didn't really think of much. But Johan did
Yeah.
say Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I'll go into that one because obviously Pokemon's a big part of like my life, the games, the merch. I mean, obviously I got the whole bookshelf of Pokemon behind me. That's
Mhm.
nothing but Sword and Shield. Like, could have been so much better.
Mhm.
The story is, like you said briefly, Chris, is not replayable. Like
Mhm.
nothing makes me want to restart the game and play through again.
Mhm.
Yep. I
The
agree with that.
hand holding of the game is what absolutely killed it for me, because like I don't mind that they like made the Pokemon games easier to like know what's super effective, not effective, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that like any of the like the side like going to fight, take care of stuff, fighting people, all that was taken away, ruined the game.
Mm.
It was a big part of like, because you didn't get to do like any of the side story stuff that happens like in any other game where you're going and just fighting Team Rocket on the side, or there's the other side story within there that you're going and clearing out like all this other stuff. Like there is this whole side story where it's like, oh, we'll go take care of this. You just focus on going to the next gym. It's like, no, I want to fucking, I want to,
Like I'm curious.
I want to fight.
More interesting. I know
like,
about the 8 gyms. I want to know about this.
The only place to catch Pokemon is the wild area, or now with the DLCs, you got the islands, which are fun and cool and all, but like anywhere else throughout the region, like it sucks going there because you get one patch of grass essentially, and like there is no point in like trying to look for anything there.
Yeah. It feels like Sword and Shield was supposed to be a tech demo that got too much.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Not those words. The way I was going to say it was Sword and Shield stumbled and fell around a lot so that Scarlet and Violet could walk.
Stumble and fall.
Could yes.
No, I love Scarlet and Violet. Like that one easily
honestly,
can replay everything.
Yeah. Good times.
But like that was so disappointing with Sword and Shield because it's the first like full 3DS fucking Nintendo Switch. I'm going back to 3DS days. Pokemon game. I mean, we had Let's Go and we had the BDSP, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and like, you know, those were just to hold people over until like all these other games came out. We got Legends Arceus, we got Sword and Shield, and we've got Scarlet and Violet.
You know what's sad?
Sword and Shield was so disappointing.
I would replay fucking Legends Arceus in a heartbeat, but if someone asked me to replay Sword and Shield, I would not do it.
Oh, never. And the thing is, like, I go back constantly and always replay Emerald, and very legal, totally not emulated version.
Yeah, legitimate hardware.
Same with Omega Ruby. Like, I love going back and playing that. Like, those are my favorite games to like just go back to because they're so replayable, and with like the emulators and changing stuff up, you never know. And same with like fucking like I even skipped out on what was it? I didn't really play Black and White at all.
Black and White was good.
And those are some of people's favorites because it introduced a lot, and like I just didn't get into those ones because it was like it just wasn't for me at the time.
I'm gonna
but Sword and Shield.
I have a hot take on people's favorite games of Pokemon, but you can continue. I will get into that here in a second.
I feel like my favorite's
Emerald.
I feel like I'm about to get fucking insulted.
So no, here's the thing.
We have to.
So I'm gonna get into it real quick, just because I'm fucking tired. I'm so tired of every couple fucking years, people are like, this generation of Pokemon is great. What is everyone talking about? It's so good. We've had this go on since Pokemon was a thing. Like before, like when Generation 2 was a thing, people started just being like, oh man, Generation 2 isn't that good. And then as time went on, people were like, Generation 2 is my favorite game. I'm seeing it. It's just a fucking trend. Every couple of years, someone says, you know what was my favorite generation? Generation 6. And then everyone's like, yeah, you know what? Generation 6 is pretty good. And it happened with Generation 5. People were shitting on it for a while. And then they were like, you know what? Generation 5 was pretty good. I'm sick of it. We need to stop. It's so confusing for other people because people will say, I thought we hated Generation 5. What the fuck happened? I'm just tired of seeing that. I'm tired of people just every couple of years, they're just like, you know, it was good. This like one of these more recent generations. That's not the most recent. It's getting annoying.
Gen
We
3
need to
all
make
the
up
way.
our minds.
Gen 3, and like Liz said, Ruby Sapphire is best gen, followed by Diamond and Pearl. That's the same, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, because you got third evolutions of Pokemon that really deserved it in Gen 4. Fucking Electivire, Magmortar, fucking Magnezone,
My only complaint with
Togekiss.
Gen 4 is that it's very slow.
Oh, yeah, extremely.
Like,
compared to
if
the
it
others,
was
yes,
faster-
it feels like it takes forever to get through.
Yes, but it is a very good game, and I've replayed that a lot. I am going to Nibs. I know you just said that like you enjoyed Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I'm gonna tell you that was my game for I was most disappointed on. That was the topic I was gonna bring up.
Really? See, I played them
Yes.
on the 3DS, so like
I also played them on the 3DS.
I didn't really use 3DS like the 3D function to begin with,
Mhm.
outside of here and there, but I get it. I mean, I think I just like some of the aspects they threw into it, like riding Latios.
No,
like,
that's a cool
around.
thing. I'm gonna give it points where it gets points. Credit where credit's due. That is a sick thing that they did and then never brought back. But my
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Riding Pokemon, didn't we have to do that a lot in
No. With Latios and Latios, you got to fly over the entire region map and just go like that's how you used fly in that game if you wanted.
That's
could
how you would
literally
fly into like the paradoxes for the Ultra Beasts when they brought them
you
into
could literally
it.
fly around the entire world map and then be like, oh, this is the town I want to go to, and then just touch down if you want.
Yeah, it was a really cool feature.
Yeah, and then they just were like, nah, not again.
People like it. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my issue with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I played it and I played it through once and I was like, okay. But when I played it through the second time, I just started getting more and more upset with the lack of just care to that game because there were so many things that that really made Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald like very special to me that were not in the games. And it doesn't help that like every Pokemon generation since Gen 4 keeps getting slower because we keep adding more story beats. Like I get it, but I've been playing Pokemon for so long, I know what the story beats are. We go to the boss of like the evil team. We fucking do 8 gyms. We fight the Elite Four. Why do we keep adding more story? No one's playing these games for like the incredible storytelling. We're playing it to catch silly little monsters and balls. And just there were so many things that like they took out of the games that I really enjoyed. The fucking cave where the fighting gym is. You used to be able to catch a Sableye in Saffron in Sapphire, not Saffron. That's another game. But you used to be able to catch a Sableye in Sapphire, and then you could use that Sableye to just fucking destroy the fighting gym like it's no big deal. That's a huge memory for me. You used to do that in Emerald. Like literally, Brawly cannot hit Sableye, which is so fucking funny. But like they took that out of the games because I don't know why. And then you have to get the bike to be able to actually explore that cave and get fucking Mawile or Sableye. And there's just a lot of things that they did in those games that I just did not enjoy that made me just not enjoy them as remakes. And like they're so terribly ugly. I know they're trying to emulate the fucking tile grid style that was the Generation 3 games. It looks terrible in 3D. It just does. The water coming to the beach looks like ass, and I will fucking stand on this hill for as long as it takes until people realize it looks bad. There's a kid in the house on the second island that if you talk to him, he asks you for a funny phrase and he gives you like an item if you guess like the right phrase. But like they took that out of the game, so like no longer like no one has like a unique thing anymore. Like it's always going to be the same one for everyone's copy. It used to be like a randomly generated one when you started the game, and it was really fucking cool. I know I'm getting into the nitty-gritty details of this game and I'm stuttering a lot. It's just because I really fucking love Gen 3 to the point where I've explored and done almost everything. And then seeing these remakes not have those things in them makes me think that they were just trying to remake them to give themselves more time for the next generation of Pokemon. And it's
Which I
saddening.
mean is the case, unfortunately. That's exactly
is.
what it is
It
them
just sucks.
putting
It
something
just
out
sucks.
so it's out there. So they
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately it doesn't stop them from rushing through to get to the next one because
yeah.
Scarlet and Violet, unfortunately, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Love playing through it.
Buggy as hell.
Too rushed because people couldn't hold the fuck up.
Well, I think it's
You
just
know?
that Pokemon can't hold the fuck up. The Pokemon company has to keep making little monsters for people to enjoy so they can keep selling the stuff that surrounds the games and not just the games themselves anymore. Like
Right.
the anime, the toys, the card game. There's so much stuff hanging on just the video game being made that like they've stopped really caring about the quality of the game and they're just trying to get it out there so they can push everything else along with it. Man, it sucks to know that I'm this jaded about it, but I know what it is. And
Oh yeah, and it's
yeah.
like I said, you know, the big thing is like you have to know when something you love sucks, and that's a big part
Yeah.
of like I said,
I
half my
mean, like,
personality is Pokemon, so like
yeah.
knowing that like they don't do it justice the way they should because they're too focused on like even though they make millions upon millions upon millions
Millions.
of
Pokemon's
sales from
literally one of the most
Pokemon,
successful franchises in history.
and they don't they because they want to get the next stuff out, they rush
Yeah.
everything.
I will say another Pokemon game that like disappoints me, but I don't dislike. I love Gen 2, but it feels like too safe a sequel for my taste.
Really?
Cause like every gym that you go to, there's like no Gen 2 Pokemon, save for Whitney, Jasmine, Claire, and Price. Like half the gyms don't have Gen 2 Pokemon.
Hold on,
Even
I'm
though
having
like
PTSD of fighting Miltank. Give me a minute.
you're good. You're good. It's just like the first gym. I'm not saying you put Skarmory in the first gym. That would crush too many kids. But you could put Murkrow in the first gym. That's a Gen 2 Pokemon that's new. But they don't. They give you a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto to fight. The second gym, there's like Scyther, Kakuna, and Metapod. I'm not saying this is like the godlike trio that Game Freak wants us to fight every time, but you could at least send like a Pineco, or like hell, you could replace Scyther with Heracross. They're about the same power level.
Right.
It's just, and like Whitney does have Miltank, I forgot, so that's 5.
Yeah.
But like Morty has literally Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar. You know what else is in Gen 2? Fucking Misdreavus. That's a ghost type. You could easily replace Ghastly with Misdreavus. It'd be interesting at that point. But that whole gym is just Ghastly and Haunter up until Morty, and then he adds a Gengar. I'm now realizing how frustrating that gym is when like you literally have Misdreavus.
Hey, yo, Haunter's my favorite Pokemon, bro.
I'm not saying that Haunter's bad. I'm just saying that like they didn't add a Gen 2 Pokemon to a lot of the game. Like there's Gen 2 Pokemon everywhere in the game that you can catch, but it feels like no one's using them. It feels like Game Freak was too afraid to like put out their new stuff and was like, no, you love Pidgeotto, right? Here's Pidgeotto for the first gym. You all love that, but
I think that actually may have been. So, I don't know if I've ever told anybody this. Like, I loved my favorite's always going to be Pokemon Red.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I played, I was in middle school when it came out. Like I remember everyone brought their Game Boys to school. It was the shit. Right? And then a few years go by, and that's when Silver and Gold come out.
Right.
At the time, right? Because I know I'm going to catch a lot of fucking heat for this. But at the time, as I was playing it, I really just felt that this was just red all over again. And it didn't feel like an original experience anymore. So that's actually when I fell out of Pokemon.
I think that's where Crystal would have helped. Because Crystal at least like added, made it feel different, even though, you know, it was the same, but it added that little bit more that made it feel different.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it. I will say I have great memories of Crystal from when I was trying to record a Nuzlocke with my best bud Jim, and we ended up catching a Dunsparce in that first cave you can go to, which is a 1% encounter, by the way. And that Dunsparce proceeded to wreck shop for the rest of the Nuzlocke that we did. It was so fucking funny because we were like, we beat the first gym and we were like, you know, we'll let we'll let Gus try for a bit, you know, humor the little boy. We need more Pokemon leveled up on our team. Let's just put Gus out there. And then Gus decided to destroy an entire route because the move Rage is broken in Gen 2. He literally like just fucking eviscerated an entire route of Pokemon that were all higher level than him. And by the time he left, we took him and he soloed the second gym on his own. And I've never, like, that is just that's a core memory in my brain at this point.
Chris, this just makes me want to, you and I should do a Nuzlocke together.
Bro, I'd watch that. I watch.
You know what? I probably should. I've never done a Nuzlocke.
I know you said you wanted to. I've done Nuzlocks just for my free playing, just like for the fun of it. And Nuzlocks can be a lot of fun. Randomizers, all of that.
I'm actually
fucking love
there's
doing
a part of me that's really scared to do that. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen how I play Pokemon now and how like my tactics are. I'm very much I'm gonna beat the shit out of you with this one Pokemon and shit all over your dick.
For our audio listeners, don't envision that.
And I'm hitting you with all physical attacks. I am physically imposing my will upon you.
I think if we do like a Nuzlocke of like one of the older games, like with the randomizer, and do it with the what's the one for dual streamers that do it? What's it called? There's something specific. Soul Link, yes. As a Soul Link. So like if like one of your Pokemon dies during a battle or something, even if mine's alive, if the Pokemon I caught from that same route, I have to get rid of as well. And it could be my best Pokemon.
I have a great story about that too. One time, my buddy Blast and I were doing a Soul Link, and I caught an Electrode, and he caught an Altaria, and my Electrode had Explosion by default. So I said, I'm going to move the move. Yes. I'm going to move the move Explosion to a different slot because it's the
you don't want to click it.
Yeah, it was the first fucking move of my attacks. So if you just mashed A, you would just hit Explosion and kill yourself. So I moved it to where the move Spark was, which is what I was using a lot because Electrode, you know. Immediately, the next fight I got into, I muscle memoried, went over to Spark, hit it, exploded my Electrode.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's the type of shit that happens. So yeah, Chris, I think you and I should do a Soul Link.
Well, apparently Wee can make us a randomizer that can do that.
I can do that too.
Oh, Joe can do it too. Well, we can all do that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I mean, I'm for it.
So, yeah, we'll plan something out for after Florida. We'll make it something.
Yeah.
And put a couple days into it.
That'd be fun. I think we're getting a little off topic.
Yeah, here. I was about to say not to take it too far off topic.
Does anybody else have any games that they're disappointed in? Because I could think of another one or two off the top of my head.
I also have one, but I've already gone. I don't want to.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. If there's
well, I want to give other people a chance.
Zesty's deafened, so her bean is just sitting there. Baja, do you have anything? Baha's gone.
I'm just here.
Yeah.
Do you have input on this one or no?
Yeah.
My input is games are good, games are bad.
Players are bad.
Broke.
Games are good, players
so
are
I
bad.
can't tell you a good or a bad game from this year.
Not necessarily this year. Any game you've played.
Any year. Like, if you ever played a game that you were hyped for and then it just sucked.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Give me 2 seconds.
No, you're good.
Okay. So
one game that I played that I was excited for that ended up not being great. So I love Mega Man. Like, Mega Man series is just one of my favorite series.
I think I know where you're going.
Oh, okay, which one do you think I'm talking about?
Mighty 9.
No, and so that's actually a really funny story. I got that game. I played through it like the entire day by myself, and like I did not I knew it had a Kickstarter. I didn't know how big the Kickstarter was. I wasn't following it that much. I didn't know how long it was in development either. I just knew it was a game. So when I got it at the store, like on day one, I took it home. I didn't check Twitter at all day. So like I played through it. I beat it pretty quickly. There was some bullshit in that game that I was just like, okay, so there's a lot of instant death. That's whatever. I mean, Mega Man 2 had some instant death bullshit, but it's like, whatever. But then like the second I was done and I'd beaten the game, I was like, cool. And the credits that take like a super indefinite, long amount of time, we're playing. And I was like, I'll just check Twitter real quick. I get on Twitter and literally everyone is infuriated by this game. And I was just like, I didn't think it was that bad, actually. Like, it's not a great game, but like it definitely, like, I can understand why people were upset. It didn't live up to the hype that everyone wanted it to be. But like there was some charm to it that I enjoyed. But that's actually not the Mega Man-esque game that I was kind of upset with. That I was disappointed by, which is really fucking funny.
Oh, which one was it?
It's it's actually more obscure. It was actually Mega Man Legends 2.
You know what? Really, I can agree with that.
People, I don't know if people are gonna hate me for this, and I will say, like, I fucking love Mega Man Legends 1. That was from my childhood, and Chris, you can attest to this. I think it was last year I streamed. I played Mega Man Legends 1, and I fucking beat the game in 8 hours.
Yeah,
on stream. Which was, I just had so much fun with that game. Like, I was enthralled with it. And being that I'm older and I know how to play the game, actually, I just kept playing and I was like, oh, new stuff and like old stuff that I like nostalgic for. And like I beat it and I was just like, this is great. It's actually one of my favorite clips from my stream came from that fucking that stream. My favorite clip of all time of just like, you know what? It's time. I put on some sunglasses. These are my pussy eating glasses. Let's go. And I fucking go to the final boss.
Yep.
Oh, that's one of my favorite fucking clips. But I played Mega Man Legends 2 and I did not enjoy it. And
Mega Man Legends 2 was a big letdown. I agree wholeheartedly.
Like
a lot of the same issues that I've outlined in other games, one of them being replayability. It doesn't have it.
I think, well, here's the thing. My thing is the combat is just so different in that game because, like, so for people that don't know, in Mega Man Legends 1, they have the lock-on system, but you can't move when you're locked on.
Good night, Sky.
You lock on and you fire a couple times and then you gotta move, but like you have the lock on, it's just an aim assist essentially. Like you fire, you move, and then you lock on again to like help you make sure you hit your target. But you don't have to lock on to hit your target. You can just kind of like run and gun if you want. Mega Man Legends 2, you have to lock on and then you can move while you're locked on, but literally every enemy is designed that like it understands that you can move while you're locked on. So it makes the combat way more annoying because they're just moving around a lot more in this game. They're way faster, and like there's a lot more hazards on the floor that you have to pay attention to. And when you're looking straight at the enemy the whole time and you get hit by like some bullshit that's behind you or off screen, you're like, what the fuck? And like it's annoying, but and I get it, some people really like that game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I was kind of let down by it because it wasn't the same as Mega Man Legends 1 for me. Which is really like I feel like I'm gonna like get destroyed for this.
I don't think
Like
so.
it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's a good game. And I will say fucking in the flame wars of fucking Mayor Dump Truck versus Mayor Puppy Dogs. Mayor Puppy Dog Sweater.
Oh, that's
Good
right.
times were had. Chris knows.
I remember. Yes.
That fucking mayor that's like, do you want to take my quiz? And you're staring straight into her cleavage.
Yes.
Just like, yes,
Yeah. Of course I want to take your quiz.
You know, what's the quiz? And then like they actually ask you questions about real life, which really fucked me up. They were like, what state of Baltimore has this? Like, what is the main export of Baltimore in 2001? I'm like, what the fuck are these questions? I was expecting like questions about the lore of the game, not like an actual geography test. I almost said geometry test, but you know what? I think math was on there too, so I wouldn't have been wrong.
Yes, Robert, I did cut my hair. I needed to.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Joe.
No, you're good. You're good. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying Mega Man Legends 2 is a bad game. This, like, none of the games that I've put forward, I am saying are bad games. These are games that I've been disappointed by. And I think the crux of the argument is, like, I don't think any of the games that we've really put forward are bad games. They all have, like, their communities and are pretty popular. Like, I know, like, a lot of people, like, there are tournaments for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate right now. Can't say the same thing about Infinite, but you know.
Yeah, not Infinite. That game fucking bombed.
Yeah, it did. But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of the games, the reason they're disappointing is because they are good. They're just not good to the point where we expect them to be.
They're not at the standard in which we would hold them to.
Exactly. So yeah,
at the point of which they should be, especially if it's like after there's already been previous releases.
Yeah.
Like there shouldn't be a reason why a next series in the game is
like the games should not feel like they're regressing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another quick two. I'm not gonna delve too much further into it because I do want to move on to the opposite
second
spectrum.
part of the question.
Right.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Destiny when it first came out, and the first, I want to say, 5 to 6 years of that game, I was playing every night. Had like a group that we went together. JC was there with that. There were 2 games that came out in that time that were literally touted as Destiny killers. That's what they branded themselves at. These are the games that's going to kill the Destiny fan base, right?
Yeah.
Right.
One was called The Division, which Johan wanted to talk about Destiny.
Division can be fun.
One was The Division, and The Division 1 specifically. The Division 1 was horrible, and it tanked really bad.
Hold on. The first Division did incredible for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Towards the end, people found out, oh hey, it's just the same damn thing over and over again.
Right.
Because like we were for example, like I don't think I ever got to play with you the Division 1, right?
No, you did.
I did. Okay, yeah. I just remember mostly playing with like this other group of guys from my work, and like we were on that religiously for a while. And it got to the only problem was that one, again, like a lot of things were repetitive. Like the missions were all pretty much exactly the same, just on a different map. And I like that's kind of the formula for a lot of games. I know that, but this one was just way too, I don't know, way too the same, because bringing up Destiny, like you could say like every strike is essentially the same. You go, you do like certain like little things, you do a small puzzle, and then you get to the boss, and then that's it. And you know you could say the same, but like the quote unquote strikes in the Division were literally just so repetitive. Like there was hardly any variety to them, like at
Exactly.
all.
There was no difference between a strike in the Division and a regular mission.
Right, exactly. And then the other thing was that it was full of bugs.
Yeah.
Like, and the bugs weren't fixed in time. By the time there were fixes for the bugs, we had already moved on. Mostly
Yep.
because we had already beaten the game, and
We were just
some
going
of
back to
the
Destiny.
yeah, and some of the end game stuff was
Mhm.
way too hard to like, at least in the beginning. I don't know if they changed it, but it was way too hard for any of us to actually get through, even when, like, with a full team. Part of the reason was because in order to get good gear, like really, like you could play the game and get good gear. To get really good gear, you had to go into the PvP zone, which I forget what name they had for it, but essentially that's what it was. It was a PvP zone where you'd go and you'd try to find resources, and then you had to, once you got these resources, you had to extract them. You had to like go to a place, pretty much call in a chopper, and then the chopper would come. The chopper would take like, I don't know, like 3 minutes or something to arrive. But the
Mhm.
problem was that during that time, like every player on the map was alerted of your location and what was happening, like, and all that. And so then, okay, yeah, like that was a cool concept and everything. And like every now and then you get dicked around because, like, um you had better players that were just like trying to, like, ruin your good time there, which, whatever, that's how the game is. But what the real problem was, like in the PvP zone, was that it was so glitched. And one of the glitches was the 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 voice system. So there was this thing where pretty much, like, if we're playing like the normal game, just like in the regular non PvP area, like we'd all be in chat and we'd be perfectly fine. And then as soon as we went to the PvP area, all of a sudden there were like all these NAT issues, like, that would pop up, and then like we couldn't hear each other anymore. And that was another, like, I think there was some other things, but that was one of the common things. So all of a sudden you can't coordinate, like,
Was that
while you're
just at
playing
the
the game.
beginning at launch? Hey, hi guys, I
Yes.
joined.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
Johan.
Is
Uh,
Hey, Johan.
hello, Johan. Hey, Chris. I think you should throw in Johan's bean if he is
No,
going to be.
no. If it's okay with Chris, I just wanted to pop in to put my 2 cents in the game.
Yeah, bring it.
Mhm.
Welcome to the Crizzle Cast,
well,
Johan.
also, Johan, I pointed at you. I don't know if you caught it because you put the second game that I was gonna mention.
I knew exactly what you were talking about when you said the Destiny killers, because I was reading all the Game Informer, reading all the blogs and stuff, and they were talking
Mhm.
about it. I almost pre-ordered Anthem,
Mhm.
and then I decided, like, let's wait for the hype
Yeah.
to die down. Here's my rule:
Mhm.
I wait a month, and then I look and see how many people are still playing the game, and if
Mhm.
it's still worth it, I'll buy it. And yeah, that was one of the ones that didn't work out.
Yep.
Apparently, it's good now, better now, but like the same thing with like
Mhm.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was like the first one. that
Oh
I
my god, I'm
decided-
surprised
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
mentioned No Man's Sky.
Oh, because I didn't play it. My brother played it, but No Man's Sky, even like knowing all the hype that went into it,
Mhm.
and then what happened with that game, even watching my brother play, I was pissed. Like he played it on the PS4, and just knowing like it was such a fucking disappointment.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like I got No Man's Sky after they fixed it.
Okay,
Mhm.
sorry guys. What I wanted to say, JC and Chris, did you guys pre-order Destiny 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember when the game first came out, like we paid through the campaign and everything, and then do you remember people hacked the game and they found planets that were locked but like in the game code.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and they were planets that were in the trailer. In the trailer for all the trailers of the game.
Yeah.
I forget what planets they were, but yeah, I was
I think one was
excited to go to-
Europa.
Yeah,
Well,
there was like
Europa.
another one. No, we didn't have Europa right away. No,
No, not right away, but no,
we had that one Titan. We had Titan.
Mm.
Am I right?
Yeah, we
The
had
one
Titan.
with the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Europa.
No, Europa was the
is-
snow planet from
Yeah, it was
2
the
years ago.
DLC from 2 years ago. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That was my disappointment. Even though I'm like crazy about the game, my disappointment was how Bungie, I think it was Activision mostly.
Yeah, it was
I think they kind of fucked us. They advertised us the game, and then they took the game that they made and they cookie cut it into pieces.
Yeah.
They left the whole game that they had coded into the game, but they actually saw a timer, the hackers, for when the DLCs that are going to launch, and that's my issue with games these days, is that they design games, and then the game they design, they chop it into pieces, and then they release it with DLCs.
Right.
And then you have games like Elder Scrolls Online that is still going strong. They just came out with a new DLC, a new place, new maps, new weapons, new characters and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was my disappointment, was Destiny 2 at launch.
That's a fair one.
Yeah, no, that's a fair one, especially because Destiny 2 at launch was over pretty quickly.
Yes, it was the campaign.
Yeah, and I remember being like, that's it. It's like, and then all of a sudden it was just, okay, well, I guess we gotta wait for the DLC to drop.
Yeah, which you have to pay for, which is already coded into the game.
And that was the thing
that was advertised in the trailers.
The DLC came out not even that long after the game had originally launched, and it's like
we're talking a new raid and everything.
Yeah.
Osiris came. So Destiny 2 dropped on a September. We got Osiris in December of that same year.
Yeah, like it, like, and that kind of pisses people off too, because it's like we're paying for content that was, that they had it in the game, but they just wanted to make like a few extra bucks after the launch and split it up, like you said.
I'll step away for just a minute to go use the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
Another minor kind of complaint about the game is, I mean, I can understand why they don't do this, but I wish that if you pay for content in the game, it will transfer. Now that they have you can transfer your data into other consoles.
Cross-platform.
Yeah, that you could transfer the data to other consoles. I had to rebuy all the DLCs on PS.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I couldn't. When I was playing on PC, I couldn't do the certain raids and stuff, or the certain strikes with my brothers. I'd have to get off my PC and get on the PlayStation to play with them.
Yeah, me and Chris has had the conversation because where we're we both would have probably been playing more on PC.
Yep.
If we had the content there, all the content that we got was on the PlayStation.
I will tell you, I think Beyond Light is free right now.
Well, we had already purchased Beyond Light.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, and then one more thing. They after you pay for content, they vault.
Then they vault content.
Yeah.
That wasn't great.
That was something that bothered me too.
I wish there could be a mode that you can do where you can
legacy stuff.
Yeah, where you can hey, I want to unlock these quests.
Yeah.
And I want to do the first campaign again.
from Destiny
Dude,
1?
the red,
No, Destiny 2.
no, Destiny 2. The Red War.
Because you can't do the Red War. You can't do the one where Cade dies.
Forsaken.
Right.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
you can't. I paid for those.
Right.
Can't do it.
Right. Aren't there weapons that are locked because of that? Because you can't. Yeah.
Unless, here's the thing. The funny thing too, you have to buy those to get the weapons, to use the weapons and armor that came from those DLCs. But you can't play the content.
You can't actually play. Wow.
Yeah. So if Xur is giving out an Osiris exotic or something, or a Red War like era, and you don't have that. No, not Red War, but like the Forsaken.
Yeah.
You have to buy it to use that, to buy it from Xur.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. It sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Right. No. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And you know what? Fucking.
Go
ahead, Baha.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna put in a game I was really excited for to come out. I think it came out this year. Was The Quarry.
Did you play it? You cut out.
Dark.
You cut out everything.
Of course I did.
All we heard was
Of course I did. Of course I did. Can you guys hear me? Am I good?
Yeah.
No, you're
Okay.
good now. All we heard
cool,
was
cool,
the
cool.
quarry.
Okay, so a game that I was really excited for this year and was it wasn't a letdown, but it was definitely not to where I expected it, was The Quarry. They're made by Supermassive. It's the same company that makes Until Dawn, the Dark Picture anthology games. Those games. I love those games. The choice, the horror, all of it. So The Quarry, it's a lot. It feels a lot more like a movie with choices as opposed to the other games. It's like, yeah, it has horror movie-esque vibes, but The Quarry is much more. It just feels a lot more like a movie. Of course, you get your choices, but
I bet you it plays more like Heavy Rain than it does the other games.
Yeah, I think so.
Am I right in like what you're saying is that it's more linear and not like branches out like Until Dawn?
It branches out. I heard it has over 100 different endings, but it feels so dragged out.
Oh, are there like
absolutely
heavy
so dragged
cutscenes?
out. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, so it's Metal Gear.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't played that to say yes or no.
So the cutscenes Until Dawn aren't too bad. Like they're good. Like, but you don't like lose interest. They're not that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have watched a couple streamers like dual play The Quarry, and I got bored and I didn't finish it. I guess you're right. I see what you mean.
Yeah, and you see, I finished it all the way through because, I fucking love these games. Of course I will, but
it'd be like 5-minute
doesn't-
cutscenes.
It doesn't have any replayability to me.
Because
it sucks. It's so fucking long. I think I went through the whole game in maybe 2 nights. I also played it for 10 to 12 hours straight, but I wanted to get it done because I'm like, I like it, but I don't love it, and I just kind of want to get through and see what the ending is.
Wait, that was your first playthrough?
Yeah.
No bueno. That's not good.
Yeah. I didn't get everybody, unfortunately,
if you're ever
and I
playing
don't
a video
have any.
game,
I'm sorry.
If you're ever playing a video game and it feels like a chore, that's not a good thing.
Yep.
I will say the ending of Alien Isolation.
We need to get Johan's Bean in here. We do.
Started to become a chore because I was like, okay, this is the third act. Okay, this is the climax. It was, oh, okay, no, this is it right here. I just wanted to finish that game on stream.
Yeah.
I actually adore that game, but the ending, I couldn't figure out if this was the climax of the game or not.
Has a special place in my heart now.
It does.
Because of what I had to do to get through that game.
Mhm. You know, it'd be
Bro,
great.
He had to sell his soul.
Me fucking coaching you from the distance, just like, yo, crouch walk to victory, crouch walk to victory.
Yeah, that's what I
you know-
ended up doing.
And you know what? I credit that game now, like I play Faz a lot more often than I ever did before, and I'm not
Mhm.
even
As you
scared of
should.
it anymore.
As you
Nice.
shouldn't be.
Like that game, like okay, I'm dead, cool. Right?
Yeah.
Like you can see like a complete and total shift in like my viewpoint on horror games, where like I remember when I started playing what's the one game Zesty really wanted me to play and then I ended up getting really fucking bored of.
Amnesia?
Amnesia. Yes.
I never heard of that one.
You've
It's
never
a
heard
horror
of
game.
Amnesia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a big time horror game. I remember
Mm.
Markiplier
Yeah.
played it a lot when it
Oh,
first
I
came
remember
out.
PewDiePie.
That's when I
played
first
it.
watched Markiplier.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, like I got to a certain point in that game where I was like, I don't even know where I'm going, and I'm just like bored.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel you.
Well,
He
that
was masking his
kind of
fear.
like what it was for me playing my first playthrough of Alien Isolation, because I didn't get certain mechanics because I was just like blowing through it. I didn't know you could find maps. I didn't know that there was a marker on your device.
Oh my god.
I didn't know there was a marker on your device to tell you where to go.
Man, playing on a hard mode apparently.
I literally I had never. I just downloaded it because I think it was free on PlayStation,
Mhm.
and I just started playing it.
Mhm.
Didn't know
Man's
anything about
playing
it.
Alien Isolation on Dark Souls mode.
So, yeah.
It's on dumb mode where I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
So
I'll also tell you, I played The Last of Us. It wasn't until 2/3 of the way of the game that I realized it was a sneak game.
Oh god.
It was a stealth game.
2/3?
Yeah, it was a stealth game. Yeah, I didn't realize it was.
Oh my god, Johan.
Johan takes
He's
the
just running
"This is a
and gunning
stealth mission."
everything.
All right,
Seriously.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
wondering why
I
he's
deserve
dying so
everything.
much.
What? Yeah, no.
I do have a point to add on to what Baja said earlier, where she was just playing the game and like she just wanted to get through it.
Mhm.
I have a quick story about that. So on my stream, I
Gotta go,
at one
guys. Have a good
point
night.
Bye, Johan.
Bye,
Bye,
Johan. Thanks for
Johan.
hopping in.
Hey,
Thanks
Love
for
Johan.
the chat,
you.
though.
So at one point on my stream, I had a redeem that was like, you get to pick the next game that I play, because I just didn't have a whole lot of things that I wanted to play at the time, and I was just like, yeah, I'll let chat choose something. And unfortunately, so my chat picked. They had redeemed the points enough to get this, and they chose for me to play a Pokemon ROM hack called Pokemon Insurgents. And so, nah, Nibs might know where I'm going with this,
What
but
is that?
it's a ROM hack someone made from like the ground up.
Okay.
It's a Pokemon story. It's all original. It's all stuff, but like it uses Pokemon's, you know. And I played it, and here's the thing: I don't think it's a bad game, but everyone was super hype about it, like hyped up for like, this is such a good game, Joe. Like it's such a good Pokemon game. Like there's so many cool like mega evolutions people do, and like all this other cool stuff that's like original and interesting. I'm like, okay, yeah. And I liked all that. The thing I did not like about this game, there was so many times where I felt like the game was not fair. And I'm not saying how do I put it? If I'm playing a Pokemon game and it's hard, like yeah, that's whatever. I'm okay with hard. Like if people are using items and like pretty good abilities, that's fine or whatever. But that game, people were having mythical and legendary Pokemon out the fucking wazoo, and it was so annoying after a certain point. Cause like I can play, like if someone has the same like power level of Pokemon essentially, like I don't care. It's not that big a deal. Like I'll fight like, Magma boss or team boss, whatever, and like I'll do that consistently. And like, yeah, it's a challenge, but like, okay, like you could have easily won that if I wasn't playing smart. But this game had so many points where it's just, okay, fight this legendary. Okay, well, yeah, I'll have to fight that legendary. And then immediately after, okay, well, fight my entire team of 6 then. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they made it unfair and it became unfun after a while. But my issue was I kept wanting to play because everyone hyped this game up to me. They're like, this is such a good game. You're going to love it on stream. And I didn't. And I just started getting more and more frustrated with it. Don't do that to yourself, streamers. Don't force yourself to play a game because then no one's having fun.
You know what you should force yourself to play is the ROM hack Fool's Gold, which is a crystal
I mean, unless it's me, everybody loves to
based
watch me
ROM
suffer.
hack.
I don't like to watch you suffer, Chris. I'll be honest.
I would like to watch you
Every
suffer.
time you play Paper Mario, I'm literally at the ready to tell you like good things that you can do to help yourself. Like, I do not want you to suffer through that game because it's a fun game.
Oh no, I have fun with Paper Mario.
And that's good. That's the point of me helping you every stream. But like, that game just frustrated me, and because of that, I've been very disappointed in it ever since. There's a lot of cool shit in that game. There's like different formed Pokemon. Like, there are Pokemon that have like different typings than their normal counterparts that are like this rare anomaly Pokemon, and that's cool. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, there's
It's because
many...
you were forced into thinking like it'd be a game for you, and it wasn't, and so it really put that distaste in it. And you know, that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, there's just a lot of shit. Like, I remember early on, your rival has a fucking Celebi, and I said to chat, I'm like, wow, well, where's my Celebi? Am I right, chat? And like, people defend that, like, no, you're supposed to get like a bug type in the area before that. Why? Why do I have to counterpick my opponents now? Why do I have to know what they have? And then because I know what they have, then I can win. That's never been a Pokemon staple. I've gotten good to a Pokemon to the point where I've never had to go counterpick my opponents. I've been able to build a team that I want and play through the entire game and just have fun with it. Why do I have to now start like counterpicking my opponent's team to win? That feels so bad. Because Pokemon's supposed to be like this game where like I'm catching my favorite little monster dudes and I'm just going on this journey. I don't want to have to like think about getting like the best team for a certain fight every time. That's annoying.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just little things like that made it unfun for me. Like, there's a lot of cool shit and there's a lot of heart in that game. Don't get me wrong. There is a tremendous amount of love poured into that game. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I didn't like it. Because I can tell when I'm playing that game, I could tell there's a lot of love and like genuine want for the game to be good that was put into that game. I just did not enjoy it. And it sucks. And that's why I'm disappointed in it. Also, it's like 10 till 12.
I know.
It's good you touched on it being so late, because I was just thinking like maybe since this is already an hour and a half.
Like hour 15.
Hour 15. Maybe we touch on games we loved in the next one if Criz is up to it, or we could
I kind of wanted
shoot
to.
that. I was gonna say, or we could shoot that now if you could stay on later, Joe, and Criz, maybe you could split it up into 2 episodes. Because if we spend an hour and a half on just what we hate, we're probably gonna spend another hour.
Way more. I feel like we'd spend way more time on stuff that we love.
I think so.
Well,
because
keep in mind, this is stuff that we the question is stuff that we thought that was bad that turned out to be good.
Right.
I actually had a more difficult time thinking of that than I did stuff that I thought was going to be great that turned out bad.
Well, I have one for that one too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like here's the thing. I have a game that I wanted to gush about that I didn't know I would like, but I ended up loving anyways.
Oh, I have one as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually currently playing it.
Oh, what? Oh, audio listeners, you'll never guess what it is.
I mean, I've already said it. But...
I know.
Haven't you been playing this for like forever?
But when I
Um,
first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's a stupid concept." Right?
Right.
Meanwhile, now you're addicted to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
do
It's
you-
mindless to me now, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like it's
What
Like
do
how
you
many
wanna do,
times I've
Chris?
watched your mouse just randomly turn to a side.
Just
like
go-
that. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's really been bugging me.
It's
Just does
it's
it.
been bugging
And I know
you.
it's not you doing it. Yeah, I know it's been
Have
bugging
you not seen my
because,
face
like,
every time it does it? I just kind of
know.
go.
It's the like. There it goes.
I don't get what you're looking at.
So like at random
You'll be
Baja,
spraying
like
and all
I'll
of
be
a sudden it
spraying, all of a
just
sudden I'll be like,
shoots.
over here, and I'll be like, God damn it! Like when they did this
It's happened so
Tomb
many
Raider
times when I'm
update,
watching it, and I'm like,
I don't know what they did to like the engine when they made this update for the Tomb Raider levels, but like there, it's either that or it's my mouse, but it's only really done it in this game, where it's very jerky like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, so Chris, what do you want to do? Do you want to end it here and touch on it in the next episode, or?
We could touch upon it in the next
Just 'cause
episode. Oh, you know what?
Joe's
It's
gonna be
actually
hopping off soon
perfect.
enough.
It's actually perfect that we do this in the next episode because
The
I
job just finished.
just finished. This
my-
whole time I
my-
was on the one job.
Yeah.
Oh,
will
were
say-
you?
Yes.
Yeah. I will say I was like I really would like it if we could end it here because work was like, hey, you have to start going back to work in person next week. And I usually don't have to
Oh.
like go into work on Mondays, but now I do. So I have to get up even earlier tomorrow.
That sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to leave at like 5, quarter to 6 in the morning. So
I feel you, brother.
Florida?
Would,
no, that I don't leave for Florida till Thursday
Mm.
Oh.
that's right. You're gonna be in Florida soon.
Oh my
for your
God.
10 days.
Nice.
But yeah, like, and you know what? I really do want, I do want there to be like a counterpart to this episode, so that if people were like, oh, I don't want to listen to something negative, we have like an episode that's like the exact opposite, something very
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and I can actually
the
think
next
about
episode
stuff.
will be games that we thought were bad. Well, is that what I titled this episode? I swear to God.
No, this one was games you thought were good. So this actually worked out perfect.
Yeah,
Of
it
games
did.
that we thought,
It's so perfect.
like, if you think of it as you're asking it as a question, like,
Oh.
games you thought were
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
so
like,
thought we're
emphasize the
good, but
word.
we're bad.
Yeah. I don't even think like it's bad. It's just disappointed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly,
Like-
who throws his shoe?
Honestly. But,
Honestly.
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 Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a good place to end it. Finish the level, finish the podcast with it.
Yeah. Honestly.
And honestly, I'm gonna say this too.
Honestly.
I really like the beans lighting up when they talk, and I'm able to
Yeah,
play
it's-
Power
it's
Wash.
a nice
It
little effect.
actually it actually gives me a reason to always play Power Wash now. I can always play Power Wash on Sundays.
Yeah, all the beans.
And on Sundays we play Power Wash.
As I was actually going to want to play something else after this, depending on
Let's
what
get it.
people want to do.
Audio
Let's get
listeners, the
it.
joke that I'm making is the fact that everyone else is a bean from Among Us, and then Joe has his fucking sexy anime madness.
But your
Super sexy
anime guy
man. It's just even
serves
floats.
coffee, and what is coffee made from? Beans.
Bro, you ain't pressing me into coffee. I drink
All right,
the
that's
coffee.
it.
I
Stream's
am
canceled.
not the coffee.
Stream's canceled. Let's finish. The joke's over. All right.
You want to hear a terrible joke before I get off?
Yes.
Was
think
that the
like a week
joke?
ago. So like a week ago, my cousin asked me, "Hey, can you make me some coffee?" And I said, "Sure." He never had coffee before, so I made him some. And he took like one sip and goes, "Ugh, this is awful. It tastes like dirt." And I said, "Well, yeah, it was ground this morning."
Oh my fucking Christ.
All right, I'm
Stop.
being canceled. Goodbye.
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 And on that note, we're gonna
Oh.
end
Before we
The
end, I just realized
podcast.
Hey, do we want to do shout outs to everyone else's stuff? That way, like, they can find them. Like, currently, we're streaming this on Crizz's Twitch. Criz, do you want to tell them your Twitch so that they can find you on Twitch?
Yes, you can find me on twitch.tv/CrizzleCraw Gaming.
I still don't have a Discord set up for this.
You can, I'll work on that. You can find me on YouTube. If you look up Crizzle Craw Gaming on YouTube, same thing on TikTok. Twitter, you can find me at Crizzle Craw Game. And I think that is all of the socials. You can also check out my merch store at streamlabs.com/Crizzle Craw Gaming. You can find Joe Java at
oh my goodness
www.twitch.tv/Joe_Java.
You can find my Twitter, which is not Joe Java. It's actually twitter.com/lasering. So LASSE.
Oh, that's cool.
No, LASERRING.
Let's just.
The problem is I made my Twitter when I was 12 before I rebranded to Joe Java. You can find my YouTube, which is, if you look up Joe_Java on YouTube, you'll definitely find my stuff.
No.
Please
I don't think there's anything else. Oh, I am on TikTok. You can find me TikTok with Joe_Java there as well, but I don't really touch that much. That will change this year, though. That is going to change.
Good.
And I, Nibs, am mainly just on Twitch at twitch.tv/lostboy_Nibs.
Who eventually will become Foundboy Nibs when he becomes affiliate.
And depending on when you guys are listening to this, I'm actually setting up my socials currently. I have my Twitter and my YouTube set up, not yet my Twitch. You can follow me at Bahami/YouTube.com or Bahami/Twitter.com. It's BAJAMII. Love y'all. Thank y'all.
She's a me character. That's her whole thing.
So we didn't go with Bahama Mommy Bommy.
No, that was not ever going to be a thing.
I made a logo and everything.
I thought you were making a joke.
I made an explosion with Babam tits, okay? I put work into that.
He did all that after he started an emote for me and then never finished the emote.
I know, right?
Wait,
Chris,
I finished the
come
emote?
on.
You never sent me a finished one. You said you still had to finish it.
Oh, shit. I may have to start it over. I got you.
Bold
I
of
got
you
you.
to assume.
I got you. I got it.
Anyone else before we get off here?
Of what?
It sounded like JC just woke up.
Let me real quickly. I'm going to
hold on. I got this one. Hold on. You can find JC nailed to a cross.
No.
Behind a boulder in a cave. He might be dead in there, or he might not be there anymore. We don't know.
Joe. That's not what JC stands for.
Oh, what? No, fuck. Shit, my bad.
Because his name is Giancarlo, and people always think that it's, John Carlo. That's not how you spell his name. That's why some say JC.
I always assumed Jesus Christ.
I mean, he is a strong Christian boy, but that's not.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, goodbye, Crizzle Cast.
All right.
Goodbye, guys.
Everybody.
Good night,
Have a good
Crizzle
night.
Cast.
We love you.
or
We'll
day.
see you again.
If you're listening to this on the car ride home, don't fucking wreck.
Or do. Joe can't tell you what to do with your life.
It's true.
But if you do, make sure you have standard insurance.
And
Get your car covered.
And make sure to commit insurance fraud. I can't wait for all of that to not get cut.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Crizzle Cast. Keep an ear out. We'll have more episodes coming up in the future. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night.